Captain John F. Manning Jr. And then we went to Pensacola for VT4, which was air-to-air gunnery, and the initial carrier qualifications in T2As, and got through the gunnery phase. Then we started the normal CQ phase, which was you know, probably 8 or 10, 11, I don't remember exactly how many field carrier landing practice sessions. And then we eventually went out to CQ, daytime only, and on the Lexington, which was pretty old then, and she was the training carrier probably for, my goodness, I think another 20 years. And a good friend of mine was the last CO of Lexington, and then since that time, they've always used the fleet carrier for training command and the fleet carrier calls. When you're doing the carrier calls, you know, in the case it would have been Lexington, you know, even then, usually there'll be one instructor and 2 or 4 students that goes out with them. They take you out to the ship and you hold overhead the ship, and then finally the air boss will call you down. It's your time to come to the ship. And it usually worked out that they gave you, usually I think it was 2 touch and goes, and the goal was to get 2 touch and goes and 4 traps, I think, or 6. I think it was only, I don't know, maybe it was 6. It might have been 6 landings. But so you come down and you do the touch and go first, and then you'll do another touch and go. And if the LSOs are happy with that, then they'll tell you can drop your hook. And then you come around and land, and then the first landing, you know, Lexington was an old ship and had a very short run out on the landing gear, but T2 is a fairly light airplane, but you roll out, and then things happen pretty fast again. You know, you have to get your hook up and get out of the landing area, and then you have to follow the directors, and initially that, you know, gets a little bit busy for you, but it worked out okay. But then they take you to the CAT, and then it's your first CAT shop, and that was the same for every airplane. You know, you generally had a touch and go. You did the day work, a touch and go, and in like a case of a fleet airplane, usually did 2 touch and goes, and they try to get 6-day landings on you, and I think he went out for the next day to get some more. I think you had to finish the day before you could go at night, if I recall. And then you have to get 6 night landings, and there's generally not any touch and goes. It's a case 3 recovery and try and get night landings. But the landing was always first, usually. I never think about it. I mean, I never thought about it. I mean, you're trained, you know, you come in at 800 feet, you brake, you turn downwind to 600 feet, and you come abeam the LSO platform, and, you know, you start your turn, and you have some altitudes you want to hit to get a good start. And a good start is to roll out on center line with the ball in the center, and the idea is to keep the ball in the center and keep the airplane on speed. And the T2A in that particular case was an underpowered airplane, so you didn't want to get slow in that airplane. But it worked out okay, and I'm not sure. I don't remember feeling nervous about it or anything like that, because you've done so many landings on the field. The LSOs are happy with you. You get your 2 touch and goes, so you don't have you're not originally trapped, you know, the first one. So you get the feel of coming down, touching the deck, and then pushing the power up and going around again, almost like you had a bolter. And then you come off the angle and then look for the next guy you're following, and then come back down around again. And it was, that was one of the things in retrospect, I thought the Navy's training system was really good. I mean, you don't think about it when you're starting out, but you know, just when you think you can fly the heck out of the T-34, they send you to the T2. And just when you think you're real good in the T2, they'll send you to the F9 or whatever the advanced airplane is. And you know, there were a lot of guys who start out flying in the Navy system or the Air Force system that flew a lot of airplanes when they were young, you know, light airplanes. I mean, one of my roommates in AOC had 500 hours in airplanes, and I had nothing. And so when he starts out at Softly Field in the beginning, he's kind of way ahead. He's comfortable getting an airplane, flying, all this stuff. But by the time we get to Kingsville, Texas, or Beeville, he's no further off than I am, you know, and because the Navy system trains you pretty well. And I mean, I thought it was a very good system, and they did a good job. So.